So the one that you're seeing is toddler me in a Coke bottle. Now you can ask me that why does your mother, let you drink Coke? Well, it's because my own child self was the one who did it, basically. So most of her times when she's in the table, sometimes I go on and sometimes I go on the table and then I steal sip on my mom's cup. And okay, not gonna lie, there was a bit of alcohol, and my mom quickly just stopped me from doing that. So she stopped drinking alcohol basically for that, like that kind of thing. Which is, that's whack. But she wanted to restrict, myself away from that kind of thing. But she did enable me to drink soda, per se. This is Pastel Medicine, and I'm gonna be talking about my history of my history of Coca-Cola and why, and I like all those years that I've drank for I think 23 years. I stopped drinking, and well, I'll tell you soon of how I stopped drinking that soda after for such a long time, and it just really made me realize it did have a huge impact about my body. Now that we got all the voices out of the way and the weird air conditioning is on, let's get to the beginning. The prologue. Okay, so I think this all started when where my mom grew upon, and well, since she's from Mexico, most of their family grew popularity to the soda Coca-Cola, and most of this has been drawn upon through Mexican history, I think. I think even throughout the 50s to around more the bend of 80s, per se. Actually, 90s. So this really passed upon to my mom and my aunts and uncles. That's where the addiction came in. My mom, she really, what could I say? She didn't believe it's bad, which that wasn't a good habit or a good thought process, because she thought it's healthy for you. Oddly, just, ignorance. But yeah, it came upon that kind of thing, because it was our go-to soft drink. Like I said from the beginning, though, I started this addiction by, without her knowing, on the table. I go up to her table and sip that little cup there, not knowing that it contained alcohol. But she didn't watch, man. But she did, and she strayed me away from it. But I continue getting up to her table and tasting that Coca-Cola. So that's where she stopped her addiction. I mean, that's where she stopped her exclusive drink, alcohol, just for me to not drink that, per se. And I think that was good for her, however. During most of the time since, mostly the boomer generation, and I think some people still smoke to these days. So growing up, when I was like a baby, she still smokes. But she hasn't smoked when she's pregnant. That's a good thing. She only smoked after the pregnancy, and she continued that all the way in the merrier. So, as time passed by, I continued drinking Coke, even throughout childhood, teenhood. But when I reached to 9 years old, though, or 10 years old, she stopped smoking because she realized that it's not a good habit to have, and it does give her a little more harm, like some health issues as she's been growing older. So she cut it out with from the alcohol. But do you know how she actually got to stop that addiction? What she did is eat with something that she likes. As for, say, peanuts. She always likes eating nuts, like peanuts in a sense. So instead of like smoking, she tries to think of her way that she craves peanuts, so she goes for it. And as months passed by, it was getting a little harder, but she continued this path. And that's where she stopped permanently smoking, because it still helped even after everything. So continuing this path where she's like eating peanuts, in a sense, it stopped her addiction to smoking. And thank God she hasn't been dead yet, you know. I don't ever want her dead, because I'm still dependent. I had so yeah, passed by when I was like older. There's this fat shaming history that I have, and it made me so shitty. And so, but I never got into, losing weight or anything. I didn't go for that because I never thought it would work or anything. I don't know what was healthy or not. Even though I always go through the do you know those food pyramid stuff that they used to do in schools in the 2000s? Yeah. I still try it. And I still think that whatever I've been eating is okay and healthy. I guess, because most of the school lunches, they often give you pizzas, but they also gives you fruit and vegetables kind of thing. That's the usual lunch that, I mostly have to take in elementary. Now, when I grew up to teenhood, I still continued drinking Coke, but every time they tell you to drink water, I don't know why I had this toxic mindset that it sounded like, for example, read the Bible. I don't know why. It for someone to say go drink water felt like a sense of go read the Bible instead of getting what you want. It was my mentality with it, and it made me start drinking Coke even more because I was a rebel. Shitty rebel, thinking it's cool and shit. But yeah, that was kind of what I've been feeling. And this continued on when I was in my adult years. My beginning adult years, man. But during those times, I have entered work, and this started with my mom, okay? we've always like started to work together, and that was when the agency was in like the agency was like, I'm not gonna call it the company because I don't want to spread too much information. Not comfortable yet. Not comfortable yet. But this agency gets you to go to the Venetian Hotel. They pay you a very low salary, like around 12 or 13 an hour. Not the best enough, but you know. So during those times, it's where I developed a little bit more how the work is, and for the most part, we always bring water for some reason, because there was no other soda or no other thing. But when coworkers like saw like if there was like fresh like really cold beverage, they also give you sodas and other things, and I usually take it and then sip it, throw it away when I finish, because we don't want, you know, managers to see that. I am so sorry I had to admit this through this video, but this is how it is. But the next few jobs after, you know, because like the agency, how I lost, you know, the job of the agency is that the pandemic happened. I think a little bit more, or it's just actually it was layoff. That was where we entered this other job that has to do with convention centers, and you had to throw away. You have to go. You bring a giant trash bin and you change the trash bins out there. So I was in that different position. And during that time, that was where we drink mostly water, because even if we have to, you know, even if we craved like the soda, there's no way of even like, you know, restore it, or like, you know, because like there's no fridges there, you know, there's no fridges, there's no nothing. So the only thing I have to bring is just water. And this was like that every single work day. We drink water like constantly, even, you know, before going home. And it made me sort of like got used to it slowly over time. And this was until the pandemic came in. And my brother died before the pandemic. That's a story for another day. I don't know if I would tell it, but you tell me in the comments if you want me to tell it for you guys. But yeah, the pandemic came. I'm still the same, and then even after like a few workplaces left, like even, you know, I had like my experiences with the garbage workplaces, and I've still drank water during that time too, even with like lunch. But as to say, until now, there's this giant thing that, I mean, there's this event that happened majorly. And this was before, I think it was in the year 22. Because, first symptom, I got a pain, like, below my back. This caused me to go to the doctor quickly, so they could give me, like, I think, to check what was on my back. They gave me the recovery. And so it had to do with what was it called? UTIs. It had to do with UTIs because the urine was in a different color, and it caused me to be afraid. So this was where I began a plan A. A plan A. And that plan A, what I was doing during this time is that I drink Coke at the end of the week. Like every once a week. That's what I tried. But it didn't work for me. Like, this was this time that we stopped, buying a liter of Coke. Like a 1 liter Coke. We used to have a giant 1 liter Cokes out there. Okay? This was what we do daily. And since the inflation gotten higher, it used to be $1. The 1 liter Coke, yeah, it used to be $1, but now it's gotten higher. And I think nowadays it's almost $2, man. I don't even know. But since the inflation happened during that time, that was where my mom began to go to Costco and drink those little cans of Coke. Oh yeah, and during that time, she had been diagnosed with diabetes type 2, I think. And so she's been recovering. During that time with the doctor, she stopped drinking Coke for a reason. To not raise the blood sugar levels. And so that made her improve a lot, and I think that gave her a lot of development on her thought wise on the soda itself. And then for me though, I haven't quit it around in this. During that time in 2022, I keep drinking 2 cans a week. And then if I was getting too desperate, sometimes I took 3 cans a week. But nothing more. I try to limit it. During those days, it was cool. It was still addicting. And every time I look at the TV screen, we see like a fresh bottle of Coke or something, or a fresh bottle of whatever that soda is. I start to feel that urge of drinking, Coke. So this has been happening constantly. Now, I had some bullies in this one work garmager place. That's a story for another day. And every time they go on their break, they buy a 1 liter Coke and they drink it. And so they don't like sharing with us, so they've been selfish about it. Even if, every break, like lunch break, we try to get the pizzas when they're cooked already, they grab a giant major of pizza for themselves and just nothing on us. So they don't really like sharing. But yeah, one of those days where I saw them with their Coke, I get that angry jealousy. So, you know what I do? I slam my water bottle in the table, like, and I just open it up like freaking Pennywise video, And then I sip that water bottle, and then I aggressively, because I was pissed off, because I feel like a loser, literally. So seeing that pissed me off, really. Because they've been spoiling themselves and I'm not, basically. Now, during those days, and I think there's this one, and actually, no, hold up. So, when I lost that job after, because this manager suggested, me and my mom to work on a 3 a.m. shift, which it's not. We were not comfortable with that shift, unfortunately. That's why we decided to quit. However, those months passed by and I still drink Coke. And one faithful day, which is, I think, the worst of them all, the worst of the symptoms of them all. And I don't think I'm forgetting ever, because this is last year, man. This is last year. Okay? So, my brothers came for Halloween. And, in that time, we were celebrating. So, what I remember correctly is that we were like out there in, I think, hold up. Yes, so we were visiting the south part of the strip, which was Mandalay Bay. We stopped at like, wait, no, hold up. No, that's not it, actually. That's not it. Hold up. Okay, now I know what I'm getting at. So basically, we ended up going to the Fremont Street. And we were like walking around, okay? We went to the 7-Eleven. I decided to grab a slushie because it's been a while I haven't taken those slushies. Plus, I kind of wanted to bring back to that nostalgia because when I was a young kid, I always bring a slushie when I was with my brother in Provo. So, I grabbed the slushie and there was a Coca-Cola flavor. So I took it out and I brought it with me. And since I had, Eddie as my beloved, I think I was with him at the time. I mean, no. During that time, we were walking down the concerts because, like, what we usually do is that we don't really, like, do anything except, well, my brothers do drink. But me and my mom, we don't. We just go around and walk to the concerts. And that's where we went to the Alter Ego, which we always go into. And so that day is something I couldn't forget. Plus, there was a concert that was a new band, I'm pretty sure, but it became popular. So the security was there. We came in there, let them like check our stuff. When we passed through, we went to Alter Ego. Even though we actually tried the other concert, but I think it was country. I don't remember exactly. But this is the 23rd. Wait, this is the 22nd. Actually, the 22nd of October. So, or I think that's Saturday. So that time, there was Alter Ego. I was, I think, wearing a battle jacket at the time. In the honor of Eddie or something. And so, during that concert performance, I knew that one of the lead singers always wore the Jack Skeleton costume. And there was these host ladies that danced around with their funny flags. They were great, okay? They were beautiful. But you know what they also passed by? little glowing rings. And you know what I still have? They they gave us like one of those rings, like those little glow rings. And so I asked if they got a bat, and they said yeah. So they gave me a little bat, and this is the bat I'm talking about, man. And this is an Eddie's altar, and I'm telling you for a reason. So this guy, that's the bat I'm specifically talking about, and it glows. Let me see if I can. Oh, it goes like this, I think. See? That's the bat ring. I still remember to this day, and it's been a year. It's been a year um, that I remembered this. So, I was given to that ring. And after that dawn of day, or after that late night, we all went to sleep. My brother, my sister-in-law. Now, on that fateful Monday, I had this huge pain on my back, like a bottom pain. I swear it felt so vivid. It felt like a stab on the bottom of my spine. And so I got up and went to the bathroom, okay? There was no UTI symptom. It was all okay. But that pain in the back still lingered on. And it was for hours. I tried to go back to sleep. And it was 4 a.m. It was so painful, it felt like there was heat in the back. And so I turned around the other way to see if I'm comfortable sleeping, and no, I didn't feel anything like that. I turned the other side. Nothing helped me. It felt like a huge, it felt like I've been stabbed, man. Like it felt like a stab. So this was until 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. I woke my mom up because I was in other pain. I paced around in the night, like crying in agony. And so I told my mom, I tapped her and she was like, oh, what was going on? I told her that it's been hurting. And even before this, I even told my brother about it, but I had no idea what to do. And she gave me some suggestions on what to do. Maybe it's standing on the back, but nothing happened. Neither, the other ways. So I told her I was afraid it would be, kidney stones. And so the pain really got worse. It even shivered, it made me have shivers. And so with that, we ended up quickly to the hospital, the nearest hospital, and it was the Sunrise Hospital because it was so bad, man. It was so bad. It made me shiver much more than I should. It felt like I was in the cold. I couldn't speak formally when I was in the hospital. I even stutter in that time. So I've been telling them all the information. I told them my Medicaid. Turns out though that they gave me a IDM in the arm, and turns out though is that I had kidney stones. I couldn't forget that day, 'cause it was terrible, man. Fucking terrible. So that led me to the hospital room, and I haven't been in the hospital in years, except that one time when they took down my mole. I don't know if you noticed, but when I was a child, you saw that mole that was over there. It was taken off because my mom didn't want to have hairs in there. So, yeah, I haven't been in the hospital in years. Crazy, surprisingly. So, I stay there in the hospital, and that's where my days came in. I was, at that time, I was sitting there looking at the TV. I also I was writing at the time too, because during that year I've been writing my Stranger Things fanfic with self-ship, basically self-shipping. If you don't know what self-shipping is, I suggest you to search it up. I'm not gonna explain further. But yeah, unless I can make a video about it. So, yeah, during those days, I even worked on my classes online for typing it out, because I was hospitalized. They gave, during the few days too, well, actually, every night though, they checked me a lot about my blood levels, just to check if I'm doing okay, because they've been giving me a few what do you call it, antibiotics basically, and they've been sending this to my bloodline, which is the IDM. So I recovered more. I've been living there for about almost 5 days, because I think for the third day, they began to get me to the surgery. And that surgery was the stent that was on my kidney stone, just to take it off, take all the kidney stones off. So that's where I kind of recovered a little more. And the last few days was when I knew I missed my in-person school, which was baking class. I have a culinary art major at the time still, and I still have been studying that one. So after my last days, I was set free. I really completely cut off Coca-cola. Completely, because I was far too scared to have that moment again. So scared that it felt like yesterday about the trauma of the pain with kidney stones. So, yeah. I can't say if, if you should stop Coke, but I think it's for the best, because it does pretty much damage you the more you drink it. Every occasion though, every holiday occasion though, I only drink 1 cup, and that's it. I don't drink no more, because it still damaged me. And I've been traumatized from basically the kidney stones incident. I survived 1 year with no Coke. And I think it was legendary, because this started with work. That's just as I said. And I worked that upon it during those times. For me, cutting off completely Coke You know what it made me stop drinking the addiction? The same way that my mom did. Instead of having the addiction, she did some peanuts, right? What I did with, instead of the Coke, I worked my way with water. Every time I look at a commercial, every time I see a fresh Coke right in front of me, I drink my way with water. So working upon the same thing has helped me so much to my way. And I think for anyone who, I would advise anyone, if they want some, suggestions, I really could recommend taking something out of the addiction. And it doesn't matter. If you want to go for peanuts, go for peanuts. If you want to go with water, go with water. Or if you want to go with like salads, then go for it. Or apples. I don't even know, because honestly, it's possible to get away from addiction the more you're used to it. And there's still hope. There's still hope. Okay, I want you guys to believe this. If any way you want to take away an addiction, try something away from the addiction. Because it helped me through. It helped my mom through. And I think that's pretty much it for this story. It's crazy how so much time has consumed, and after improvement, it feels like, destiny's work. I feel like, I'm sorry for being delulu and crazy and whack of me, since I have my Jesus, my Savior. Okay, I don't know why. I had a feeling that the bat ring that was planted to me felt like a warning. It felt like a warning call before the storm. And I had a feeling that, maybe my guide cared for me for this. So, yeah. Sorry, being delulu, being whack. You can say it, because, yeah. But I think life helped me a huge lesson here. And I think it just been helped me ever since from the beginning. Just even ever since the beginning of work. Okay, so in conclusion, yeah. Don't start continuing addictions, guys. It isn't healthy for you. Too much could be too much. This is Metal Pesticine, and I hope you guys have a good day. And if you stick through this, oh my god, dude, thank you. You don't have to go through this, honestly, but thank you for sticking up with me. And rock on, guys. Rock on. See you guys.